of a stitch.
The Republicans can't find a way to dig themselves out of the holes that they put themselves into. And it's just becoming more and more, at first it's becoming more and more amusing, and it's becoming more and more pathetic. Three things, just real quick. The first is, of course, everyone is talking about, the Roe v. Wade leak from the Supreme Court. Now, obviously, the person leaked it should be investigated and probably prosecuted. However, it becomes the question as to what else is the Supreme Court, or the Republican, or should I say, the Republican members of the Supreme Court doing behind our backs. I think it's time for us to really take a closer look at what the Republicans are doing behind our backs and who exactly is influencing them in the Supreme Court. But what I really want to talk about is the fact that the Republicans are out there screaming, trying to change the narrative that this is worse than January 6, 2021. The main person who said that was, of course, Moscow Mitch McConnell. Mitch, I say they're both bad, because both of them affect our country in different ways, for different reasons. You and your Republicans pushed a terrorist attack primarily by Donald Trump to try and stay in power, saying that the election was rigged, the election was stolen, when you show no evidence whatsoever that it was rigged. And frankly, this attempt to try and overturn Roe v. Wade, a law that's been on the books for over 50 years, it shows to me that you guys are working overtime to steal our rights. And as I said before in my last video, don't think for 1 second that this is just the end of it. This could lead to other pieces of legislation and law, civil rights, interracial marriage, rights for LGBTQ. They're all on the chopping block now. We can't trust the Supreme Court, especially the Republican members of the Supreme Court now. Especially those who were selected and placed there by Donald Trump. But this was worse than January 6th? No. I think they're both bad, really bad. And the truth of the matter is, you're the ones who pushed both. So no, McConnell, they're not bad. They're not. This isn't January 6th. The leak isn't worse, because you pushed both of them. The second thing I want to talk about is the fact that after this leak, now it's all come out there, I can't believe this son of a bitch actually said this. Matt Getz, the congressman who is currently under investigation for sex trafficking, took to Twitter and said, how many of these women rallying against overturning Roe v. Wade are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly return from their protest to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches? Seriously, Getz? You're seriously actually going to talk like this? And you're under investigation for child sex trafficking? See, when something like this happens, the Republican Party should take this small piece of advice. Shut up and pray to God that this blows over. But statements like this show they're not going to blow over. And this is another reason why not only should you be removed from office, Getz, but your ass needs to be prosecuted. But that's coming soon. Don't worry, boy. It's coming. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is obviously Donald Trump. I know, I'm getting sick and tired of talking about the son of a bitch too. But unfortunately, this guy keeps putting himself right in the crosshairs. Every time he thinks he got himself out of the noose, it tightens up again. He decided to go on his social media platform, Truth Social. If it works, from all the last report I saw probably a few days ago, it's still got bugs and it's still screwing up. Anyway, He goes out to Truth Social and decides to do the one thing you do not do during a trial, and that's talk about a judge. Any common decency, any common sense person would say, don't piss off a judge, ever, during a trial. Anyway, he says, we have a judge that frankly has been unbelievably unfair. We're given millions and millions of pages, and he says, give more, and always give more. He's acting like this judge is being petulant. He's saying, the judge is saying, I want it all, and we deserve to get it all. Because quite frankly, this whole situation is the fact that you were caught red-handed trying to steal the 2020 election from Joe Biden. Everything you've accused Joe Biden and the Democrats of doing, you're the one who did. And it goes on, and the statement goes on about this. He says, the witch hunt continues, this time in Fulton County, Georgia, considered one of the most corrupt areas anywhere in the country, where a special Getz Trump grand jury has been convened to discuss a perfect phone call that was made by me. As president, I am the chief law enforcement officer of the United States. The election was rigged and stolen. First of all, Trump, you're not, as president of the United States, you are not the chief law enforcement officer. That title is reserved for the Attorney General of the United States. Any fifth grade school student, middle school student knows that. But fortunately, you never probably, I highly doubt you went to college. Or if you did, you got someone else, you paid someone else to do your homework for you. Or pretend to be you in class when it was test day. Now, this statement about Fulton County, Georgia, considered one of the most corrupt areas anywhere in the country, that's just typical Trump being the baby back bitch that he is, saying, I lost the election, it's all rigged, these people are corrupt. Trump, you lost. And this idea of Getz Trump grand jury was selected, it was convened to discuss a perfect phone call. You mean the phone call that's been circulated where you told the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger of Georgia, to find votes that would swing the election back into your favor? Is that the phone call you're talking about?
I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break. We have that in spades already. I have to find 12,000 votes, and I have them times a lot, and therefore I won the state.
Is that the phone call you're talking about, Trump? You didn't use words like investigate fraud, investigate voter fraud. You told Brad Raffensperger to find votes to swing the election in your favor. I really don't know what to say to this guy. I really don't. But I think quite honestly that this man, he's breaking under the pressure. He knows that his time is up, and he's going to try to take everything and everyone down with him. It's bad enough that here in Ohio, it's JD Mandel, is it JD Mandel or JD Vance? Thanks to Donald Trump, I can't tell which one. But anyway, it's bad enough that we have people out there going for the midterm elections this November that are kowtowing to Donald Trump and not working for the American people. And now this crap, Trump, it's over. You lost the election. You lost the appeals. You're going to continue to keep losing. And frankly, at this point, I really don't know if you like losing because it gives you something to talk about on that piece of shit social media page of yours, or the fact that you just can't take reality and say, I lost the election, I need to focus on 2024 if I'm going to run again, or if someone else that I like runs, I'm going to endorse him. But you can't even do that. You don't know how to lose. And I don't think your family didn't give you any kind of direction as how to be a good loser and walk away. You're killing our democracy, Trump. And the Republican Party out there, like Matt Getz, like Moscow Mitch McConnell, these guys are helping you. This November is the time to vote them out before they finish the job. Now, you're going to say out, and a lot of you men out there are going to say, Roe v. Wade, it doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does. It does apply to you. Because if the Supreme Court, the Republican members of the Supreme Court can get away with this, can actually do this behind our backs, unless someone exposes them like this leaker who the Supreme Court is just up in arms and just frightened about, what else could they possibly do behind our backs? Interracial marriage is probably going to be on the chopping block. We know they want to eliminate gay rights. But sooner or later, they're already laying the groundwork for taking away voting rights from people of color, African Americans especially. Don't think for 1 second that this whole thing is going to roll downhill until all of us who are people of color, who are LGBTQ, who anything else that the Republican Party don't approve of, don't think for 1 second that when it rolls downhill that we are going to be squashed by it. Because that's exactly what they're doing now. Fight back. Fight with your votes this November. Campaign, go door to door, go on social media. This has to be stopped. Because if we don't stop it, democracy, freedom, justice, everything that's in the Constitution of the United States, which these Republicans oddly want us to see as holy writ that they don't even follow, will die. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.